Hello, this is viSiONARy. I'm Michael. Got Gage here, Donovan, Avery. They've come with me because we got to propose business and money.
Okay, so do you think the blind have enough? See with the white cane and seeing eye dogs, there's lots of flaws. Like they can only see things, below the waist. So for instance, if there's like a tree branch hanging in your way, you might bump into it.
All right, and so with that, we noticed that the current technologies for blind people are flawed, and we're here to fix them. Due to loss of vision, most blind and visually impaired people will have an issue navigating around complex and changing environments. So that's why we want to create a product that can adapt to those changes and help them move around.
As for our product is a pair of glasses that uses ultrasonic sensors in order to detect objects up to 15 meters away. It has a sensor on each side along with piezo buzzers by each ear. If an object is detected on the left side, then a sound will play in the left ear. If the object is far away, it beeps once, and if it's close, it beeps twice. The same goes for the right side.
Now, prototyping. Through our prototyping, we all met up, of course, very safely with the COVID, and we were working on getting sound waves to bounce off things correctly and how the computer would understand that data. So it's with soldering and coding. So far, we have models made in 3D, ready to print them out. Now, future wise, for future modification, eventually we can put in visual sensors, not just sound sensors, which will actually be able to map out an area so it has more specific locations of objects in front of you. However, brain problem with that, why we can't do it right now, is because that stuff requires more processing power, and we just do not have that.
And that is why you should choose us for the funding. With our current funding and budget, our technology is very limited and we aren't able to do all that we'd like. For example, we have to do computing from one computer, upload it online, and then download it on another computer for us to test it out safely across distance with us being quarantined and all. And so, with that, if we had funding, we could do more things like get a 3D printer at home that could help us out in better designing our classes and not having to go to a school or a library to do it instead.
And for our SWOT analysis, some of our main weaknesses would be that we only really have one type of client, so it's a very specific market, and there's long production times since we have to, put everything together ourselves, order the stuff, wait for it to be delivered. And for our main threats, it's that we don't want people to be confused with our product and think that it's just meant to be used alone. It's meant to help, alongside a cane or a seeing eye dog. And for our strengths, we want to make sure it's a new type of product, so we have limited competition, and the production cost is low, so we can make a bunch of them. And there are organizations that will help us distribute our product as well as teach people how to use it.
So, cost and benefit. Our main worry with cost is that the battery will run out and that we have to use insulated wire. So, that will cost more money. That will need more money, take more time to make, take more development. However, while the cost, there's a lot more benefits involved. So, what we got is a more inclusive society. We're trying to include blind people, not exclude them. Big thing for us. We want easier navigation for blind people. Whole reason why we're doing with batteries and the wires. We want affordable, reliable assistive device for the blind. And final benefit, which is great, it's easy to distribute and get help from other organizations. So, our financial brilliance. When did this play in? Well, it really played into our budgeting. Now, we're really trying to keep everything as affordable as possible because we want this device to be affordable itself to blind people. All right. Because this is a device that goes along with other medical devices that are used by blind individuals. We want this to be as cheap as possible. So we keep.
So, as for our budget, we needed to keep the price fairly low, which is why we went to Amazon for our main provider. Now, all of these items come in bulk, so that way we can keep the cost fairly low. And starting with each item, we need the sensors in order to detect the objects. We need the buzzers in order to have an audible output, copper wires, and mini breadboards in order to connect all of the pieces together. The Arduino will be the main function of the entire product, and the waste bag will hold the main module that houses all of the parts together.
All right, and then for the goals, what we're gonna do with the first three goals, which would be about the first 8 months after we establish our business. For goal one, when we set up logistics and teams, we're mainly gonna focus on the bare bones and then the human resources and the legal categories, as those are gonna be a huge thing with us as a sort of medical related product, along with helping the blind people. We need good human resources to communicate on how they can use our device. And then for goal two, we just want a small workplace where we can store and work together for good production and cheap production with everyone. With goal three, we're gonna have the first batch of products. We're just gonna get the bill of materials, get our general needs and wants, and how we're gonna get it all together. And that'll lead us to goal four, where we go through the trial and testing phase, where we're going to at first have our own business where we test it out on our own and make sure it's working properly and how we want, which will then lead to goal five. And in there, we're going to distribute it out in smaller units every time. So we're going to start with 2,000 and then look at what we need, how we can revise it, and also how we can revise our inner departments to better make an efficient company along with production.